Brand new breaking news. MS Now has just learned that FBI Director Kash Patel may be out of a job in the coming months. 3 people with knowledge of the situation say President Trump and his top aides have grown tired of Patel and the unflattering headlines he's been generating recently, including using a government jet to visit his girlfriend and enlisting a SWAT team as her security detail. Ken, give me more.
Well, Katie, I should say, first of all the qualifiers apply here. With Donald Trump and personnel decisions, you never actually know exactly what's going on. But we are being told that Kash Patel, the FBI director, is on increasingly thin ice. And the president is considering replacing him by the end of the year with Andrew Bailey, the former attorney general of Missouri, who is acting now as co-deputy FBI director, along with Dan Bongino.
Hello, people. Adam is here. You will not believe what just exploded inside the Trump administration. On March 8, 2026, President Trump went absolutely nuclear on his own FBI director, Kash Patel, after internal FBI memos were leaked to the media. And what those memos reveal is so devastating, so damning, that it threatens to bring down the entire house of cards Trump has built.
I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address
There should be a
your
unifying.
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not take
It is my
responsibility
time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee.
The leaked documents show that Patel approved the firing of more than 10 federal agents who had investigated Trump. Agents who worked on the Mar-a-Lago classified documents raid. Agents who worked on January 6th cases. Agents who simply did their jobs. And here is the kicker.
Now to FBI Director Kash Patel, who has fired at least 6 agents tied to the 2022 search of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. That's what 6 people familiar with the matter tell NBC News. But 3 of those sources say at least 10 employees were ultimately dismissed. As you may recall, the FBI search was connected to the federal investigation into President Trump's handling of classified documents after he left the White House in 2021. He had pleaded not guilty and denied any wrongdoing. That case was ultimately dismissed by a judge who was appointed by President Trump.
Patel allegedly admitted in writing that these firings were probably illegal. But he did them anyway because the White House insisted. Trump's response was immediate and vicious. He went on Truth Social and attacked Patel relentlessly, called him disloyal, said he blew it at the Olympics, called him weak and pathetic, demanded that Patel either fire everyone involved in the leaks or resign immediately. But notice what Trump did not do. He did not defend the firings. He did not argue they were legal. He did not explain why agents who investigated him deserved to lose their careers. He just attacked Patel for letting the secret get out. That tells you everything you need to know about what Trump really cares about. Let's break down what these leaked memos actually contain because the details are horrifying. These are internal FBI communications from February 2026. They show Patel discussing the termination of agents who worked on cases involving Trump, specifically agents involved in the August 2022 search of Mar-a-Lago. Those agents went into Trump's home, seized classified documents, and built a case that could have sent Trump to prison. Now that Trump is back in power, he wants revenge. He wants those agents punished, and Patel is making it happen. The memos also show agents who worked on January 6th investigations being fired. These are people who investigated the attack on the Capitol. They pursued justice against rioters who assaulted police officers and tried to overturn an election. And now they are being terminated because Trump wants retribution against anyone who touched that case. This is not about performance. This is not about misconduct. This is pure political revenge. A systematic purge of anyone who dared to investigate Donald Trump. But here is the part that makes this absolutely criminal. According to the leaked memos, Patel admitted that these firings were probably illegal. He acknowledged in internal communications that the terminations likely violated federal law and the agent's rights. But he proceeded anyway. He signed off on illegal actions because the White House insisted. That is documented proof that the FBI director knowingly approved unlawful conduct under pressure from the president. That is not just corruption, that is conspiracy to violate civil rights. That is evidence of a federal crime. Think about what this means. The FBI director, the person responsible for ensuring the nation's premier law enforcement agency follows the law, is admitting in writing that he is breaking it. He knows the firings are illegal. He knows they violate the agent's rights. But he does them anyway because Trump wants revenge. That is the complete collapse of institutional integrity. That is the FBI being weaponized as a tool of political retribution. That is exactly what happens in authoritarian regimes. The legal implications here are staggering. Patel's written admission that the firings were probably illegal is a prosecutor's dream. It proves knowledge. It proves intent. It proves that Patel knew he was violating the law and did it anyway. That is the foundation for criminal charges. Conspiracy, abuse of power, violation of civil rights. All of these are potential charges that could send Patel to prison. And because Trump ordered these actions, his legal exposure is even greater. He directed the FBI director to commit crimes. He is the one who demanded illegal firings. That makes him potentially liable as well. Now let's talk about why this is happening right now. This did not occur in a vacuum. Just days before these leaks, Marjorie Taylor Greene broke ranks and exposed Trump's admissions about tariffs and third-term plans. Kristi Nolan was fired and started leaking about the $220 million ad campaign. And now the FBI director is being exposed for approving illegal retribution. This is a cascade. One scandal triggers another, which triggers another. Each leak makes more people willing to leak. Each exposure makes the administration look weaker. This is how presidencies unravel. Trump's response to all of this has been classic Trump. Attack the person carrying out his orders instead of taking responsibility. Demand that Patel find and punish the leakers instead of addressing the substance of what was leaked. Threaten Patel publicly instead of defending the illegal actions. This is what Trump always does. When things go wrong, he finds a scapegoat. He blames someone else. He tries to distance himself from his own decisions. But the memos don't lie. They show that Trump's White House was pressuring Patel to do this. They show that Trump demanded these firings. He cannot escape that. The agents who were fired did nothing wrong. They conducted lawful investigations. They followed proper procedures. They obtained proper authorization for the Mar-a-Lago search. They built cases based on evidence. They were doing their jobs as federal agents. And for that, they lost their careers. They were punished for following the law. That is the opposite of justice. That is the opposite of what law enforcement is supposed to be. And now the entire country knows it because of these leaked memos. The morale crisis inside the FBI right now is unimaginable. Agents are watching their colleagues get fired for investigating the president. They are watching their director approve illegal terminations under political pressure. They are watching the institution they dedicated their lives to being turned into a weapon of revenge. How do you maintain morale in that environment? How do you recruit new agents? How do you keep experienced investigators from quitting? The damage to the FBI will last for years. Someone inside the FBI leaked these memos because they were so disturbed by what was happening. They risked their career to expose the truth. That tells you how serious this is. When people inside an agency start leaking internal documents, it means they have lost confidence in leadership. It means they believe the institution is being corrupted. It means they are willing to risk everything to stop it. That is a sign of a broken organization. Trump's approval rating is already at 38%. That is dangerously low. These revelations are going to push it even lower. More people are going to see Trump as corrupt. More people are going to see him as an authoritarian. More people are going to oppose his agenda. And low approval ratings have real consequences. They make Republican members of Congress nervous. They make senators less willing to defend Trump. They make impeachment more likely. They make the president vulnerable. The impeachment implications here are serious. Using federal law enforcement to carry out political retribution is exactly the kind of abuse of power the Constitution identifies as grounds for impeachment. This is not a close call. This is documented evidence of illegal conduct. This is the FBI director admitting the actions were probably illegal. This is Trump ordering those actions. If this does not justify impeachment, what does? Democrats are going to push hard on this. And with approval ratings this low, some Republicans might actually join them. Patel is now in an impossible position. Trump attacked him publicly, demanded he either find the leakers or resign. But if Patel tries to find the leakers, he will create even more anger inside the FBI. More people will leak. More damage will be done. If he resigns, Trump has to go through a brutal Senate confirmation for a replacement. If he stays, Trump keeps attacking him and the chaos continues. There is no good option. Patel is probably going to resign soon, and that resignation will be another story that makes Trump look bad. This situation is part of a broader pattern. Trump has been using government power for personal revenge throughout his presidency. He fired officials he viewed as disloyal. He attacked civil servants. He weaponized agencies against his enemies. The Patel situation is just the most extreme example because it involves documented admissions of illegality. But it is consistent with everything Trump has done. He believes the government should serve him, not the law. He believes he should be able to punish anyone who crosses him. That is authoritarianism. The FBI union has already called the firings unlawful. They are going to file legal challenges. They are going to demand the agents be reinstated. They are going to raise hell about Patel's management. That will keep this story in the news. It will keep generating sympathy for the fired agents. It will keep reminding people of what Trump and Patel did. This is not going away. What happens next? Expect Senate hearings. The Senate will demand Patel testify. They will subpoena documents. They will ask tough questions about why agents were fired and why Patel admitted the firings were illegal. Expect more leaks. FBI employees are angry and they have access to information. Expect more cabinet members to distance themselves from Trump as they realize association with him is toxic. Expect this to spiral further and further out of control. The broader pattern of simultaneous cabinet scandals is what makes this so dangerous for Trump. Green broke ranks. Nolan was fired and leaked. Now Patel is exposed. Each scandal makes the administration look more chaotic. Each scandal makes more people willing to break ranks. Each scandal weakens Trump's political position. This is a cascade, and cascades are hard to stop. The separation between Trump's authoritarian impulses and institutional checks has completely broken down. We have documented evidence that Trump ordered illegal government actions. We have documented evidence that his FBI director approved those actions while admitting they were probably illegal. We have documented evidence that the FBI is being weaponized for political revenge. The institutions that are supposed to check presidential power are instead being used by the president to punish his enemies. That is the moment when democracy fails. That is the moment when autocracy begins. And we are living through that moment right now. This is not just another scandal. This is a fundamental test of whether the United States remains a democracy or becomes a place where the president can use law enforcement to destroy anyone who dares investigate him. The leaked FBI memos are evidence of a crime. They are evidence of corruption. They are evidence that the rule of law has been abandoned at the highest levels of government. And now the question is whether anyone will be held accountable. The agents who did their jobs and investigated Trump are the heroes of this story. They followed the law. They pursued justice. They did what federal agents are supposed to do, and they were fired for it, punished for doing the right thing. That is what happens in authoritarian regimes. That is what happens when the law becomes whatever the leader says it is. And if we allow this to stand, if we let Trump and Patel get away with it, then we are accepting that the United States is no longer a nation of laws. This is the moment. This is the test. Will Congress act? Will the courts intervene? Will the justice system prosecute those who broke the law? Or will Trump succeed in turning the FBI into his personal revenge squad? The answer to those questions will determine the future of American democracy. The leaked memos have exposed the truth. Now we have to decide what to do with it.